We are going to make some oatmeal raisin cookies. These are like my favorite. All right, we're going to do these Quaker Oats ones. I don't know if that's upside down. I don't know how this camera works. This is on the inside of the lid. And it's done with measuring cups. And I want to split it in half. It's kind of hard to split 3/4 cup, so I converted it over to grams, and you're going to use your scale. I already have it all weighed out to save a little bit of time. So this is the Old Fashioned oats. I imagine you could use the quick oats, but I wouldn't. All right, it says preheat the oven to 350, and we're going to get started. So it calls for 99 grams of butter. This is softened butter. I didn't soften it or nothing, I just left it out all day while I was at work. It's not going to hurt anything. Okay, 82 grams of light brown sugar. Let me tell you a little story about brown sugar. It comes in a bag, right? It makes a mess. It gets everywhere. You're never going to pack it the way it says packed. Okay, so it's firmly packed. That means you're going to jam that down inside of that measuring cup pretty hard. All right, that's why I weighed it too, but it makes such a mess. Even the best cooks are going to try to get it out of the bag and get it in a measuring cup, and it's just going to go everywhere. I suggest putting something down under it. I don't care if it's a piece of newspaper, a box, or whatever. Do it over the sink, but believe me, it's going to get in everything. All right, then we're going to go 55 grams of granulated sugar. Okay, these are some sweet suckers, aren't they? And we're going to use the old hand mixer again today. Let me get this out of the way. And I'm going to put this on. I'm going to start it off on 3. Don't ever jam this thing too high to start with. Get stuff started before you do anything with it. All right, this is on 1 right now. And what we're doing, remember what we called creaming it. We're going to cream everything together. We're going to make sure it's very well incorporated. And then we're going to beat it till it's nice and light and fluffy. Turn your bowl around. Make sure you use a high bowl for this, because it'll shoot all over the place. All right, I'm on 3 right now. Now that we got it all incorporated, I'm going to move it up to 4. So this is a half a recipe. It's going to make 24. Full recipe makes 48. I'll end up eating 48 cookies. It's not good. All right, we're going to go up to 5 now. And then we're going to give it a quick stop. And then scrape your bottom. All right, laying the camera there. Scrape the bottom good. You want to get all that flour up. All right. And we'll give it a little bit longer. You don't have to go too far, but you want to make sure you get it good and incorporated. It looks good, huh? All right. Okay, we creamed that. It says sugar and eggs on, or sugar and butter on medium speed electric mixer until creamy. Add your eggs and vanilla and beat well. All right, this is called for 2 eggs. We're going with the half recipe, so it's just only 1. This one's at room temperature. Remember, I always crack it into another container, because if I cracked it in there and it was bloody or something, you'd end up trying to dig shell out, or you'd just ruin that much butter and sugar. All right, start off slow again. Oh, supposed to put the vanilla too. And it calls for half a teaspoon of vanilla. I'm just going to wing it. I would measure. That looked like a lot. That's okay. Now remember I was saying about it looks like it's broken sometimes when you're making a cookie dough? This one will do that. It'll look like it's all separated and looks like it's not going to come together very well, but that's fine. It's going to come together. Because you're just mixing fat and sugar and eggs. And you can see in there, it kind of looks a little loose, but that's fine. And you could throw a couple pinches of flour in there if you want to make yourself feel better, but that's just a normal thing. All right. I'm going to sling that a little bit. All right. You could be doing this with a hand whip. Not a problem. Okay, now it says add the combined flour, baking soda, cinnamon, and salt. So let's get our strainer out because I want to sift this out. So I was going for 112 grams of flour. Okay. And calling for half a teaspoon of baking soda. This is a half a teaspoon. Half a teaspoon of cinnamon. All right. And a quarter teaspoon of salt. I'm going to use this, but I'm just only going to fill it up halfway, right? Okay, there we go. Look at that. And we're going to sift it. Remember, we want to sift these things because you never know what's in your flour. It could be chunks. This will also help those little balls right there. That may be baking soda. You might want to get those broken up this way. So there we go. Look at that. Okay, let me get that out of the way. Okay, add your baking soda, cinnamon, salt, and flour. Mix well. Okay, this will make a big poof and pop all over the place. So again, we're going to go nice and slow until it gets incorporated. Now if you added the oatmeal right now, you'd just be beating the tar out of it in there. And it wouldn't really give your flour a chance to mix very well with all the fat and all the butter and all the sugar and everything. So, and here I'm on number one here. You want to go slow. You don't want to rush this process part right here. All right, now you can pick it up. And like with any other cookie, once it's mixed, it's mixed. You don't want to go beating it over and over and over and over. Okay, we're going to stop this once. We're going to scrape the bottom. You always got to scrape your bottom, whether you're using a mixer or not. Flour has a tendency to get in little pockets and shows up when you start scooping. Beautiful. So far we don't have any water, so we're not developing any gluten. If this had water in it, you'd be developing the gluten in that flour. Okay, that's nice and well mixed. Looks good. Now it says add the raisins and the oatmeal. I'm using currants. That's what I got. They look like little raisins, huh? They taste a little different. So there is 75 grams of raisins and 141 grams of oatmeal. All right, same thing, nice and low. Your mixer may not be able to handle all these dry ingredients. You can do it with a spatula. At this point, keep it on very low. because it'll sling the stuff everywhere and get it started. Oops, get back in there. All right, I'm going to kick this up to a 2. We don't want to go too much on this. Kick it up to a 3. And I'm going to sling it. So I'm going to put it up high. Don't get your fingers in there, that'll rip one of them off. Okay. Out comes a spatula. It's a nice and thick batter. So when it comes to a product that's got its recipes in the box or on the lid, you can pretty much be sure that it's a good product because they want you to buy their stuff. So if you followed a recipe and it turned out tasting like crap, you wouldn't buy their stuff anymore because you'd probably blame it on their stuff. So Quaker Oats has been around, I don't know, almost 100 years, maybe longer, I don't know. So their recipes are spot on. It's changed over the years. People are saying that this had 2 sticks of butter instead of 1 and 6 tablespoons, and then said it had water in it. And all right, there we go. That's mixed well. That's nice. That's a nice, tight, semi-hard batter. Let's get to scooping. I am using your 1 tablespoon Nordic Ware Nor Pro scoop. And I'm using the silk pad. This thing, nothing sticks to this like I've showed you. Okay, these guys, you're gonna press to it, scrape it off. Doesn't matter if there's a little hole in there, a little pocket, that's fine. All right, give these room to grow. They're not gonna grow a whole lot. Give about at least 1.5 inches between each one. Looks like we're gonna get 4 across. We should get 6 long. They say you shouldn't eat cookie dough. I've eaten a ton of it. I'm still around to talk about it, so I would think commercial cookie dough, you never know what's in that crap. They use egg powder and milk powder, but it's what do you think? And when it comes down to cooking these, it says 8 minutes, 8 to 10 minutes. So I'm not using a convection oven today, I'm using a regular oven. So at 5 minutes, I'm going to turn it. What I mean by turning is just turn your pan around in the oven so it gets even heat from everywhere, in case your oven's not even. Well, looks like I'm going to have a little extra. That's 24 there, huh? I always have that thing sitting around just in case whenever I'm making one of these. Now you could definitely use a larger scoop. Makes a bigger cookie, right? You know, we should use the big cookie just to see what happens, right? Let's double this up. This is 2 tablespoons. What do you think? Put that right in the middle. Look at that. So those are 2 tablespoons on the big ones. We're going to do them. They may take a little longer. We'll see how they act, huh? Now, oatmeal cookies, you don't want to let them go too long. You got to let them just till they're starting to get gold around the edges, because those suckers will dry out and they'll get hard as a rock. All right, they're going in the oven. I'm excited to see how that big one turns out. All right, 8 to 10 minutes. So 5 minutes, I'm going to turn them around and I'll be back. Okay, we are coming up on 11 minutes. I checked them at 10. Didn't like the look of it. Destroyed one of them, but that's what happens. Okay, these are the big ones. So, mental note, you got to push them down a little bit before you bake them because those are a little tall. Okay, there's the little ones. They look pretty good, huh? Lightly golden brown. You don't want them, they're going to be soft when they come out because it's basically just sugar and butter and a little bit of flour. So we're going to let those cool for a couple minutes, just for a minute or so, because I want to start moving them around a little bit yet. You can see my little crumb on the one I destroyed. Got great flavor. Yeah, if I tried to move these right now, they would just fall apart. Oh, that one didn't fall apart. I'll put this on my splatter screen. You should get a cooling rack. Anything that works, anything wire rack will work. It's got a good, nice color to it. Huh? All right, these are cool just enough to get them to move. We're going to move them right around here. Get as many as we can on here. You want to let them cool completely. Like I said, they're a little soft still. They will definitely harden up as the sugar cools, because the sugar in there right now is at 350 degrees. It's golden hot. You wouldn't go popping one of these in your mouth right now. And this spatula is super thin. I like this thing. I can get under stuff with it. I'm not going to have enough room on here. Yeah, there's my casualty. Look, there's the bottom, huh? Nice and golden brown. Starting to stiffen up a little bit. All right, I'm going to let them cool just for a couple minutes so we can break one open and see how they look. We are back and the cookies have cooled. Look at those guys, huh? I gotta do something about the lighting in here. So what do we got? Let's take the medium one. Nice and firm cookies. They're not soft, and they're soft, but they're not gooey anymore like they were when we pulled them out of the oven. Can we hear it? Nice and holding that right up to the microphone. I hope that didn't blast your ears. Okay, let's break one open. Nice, huh? Everything is in there is nice and cooked. Of course, the oatmeal's not cooked thoroughly, but I mean, that's a cookie. Little moisture looking in there, which is good. The ends have just a little bit of crunch to them, but they're not hard. If you would have let those go any longer, they would have got hard as a rock. They wouldn't have been doing anything nice to them. All right, here's that big sucker. So this was 2 tablespoons. It is approximately, well, I'm gonna go grab my tape measure. So 1 tablespoon cookie got us around 2.5 inches each. Yeah. 2.5, I got a small one in there, that's fine. The 2 tablespoon, right at about 3.5 inches, 3.25 inches. I would have pushed that down if I would have known it wasn't going to spread as much, but it's not too bad. All right, let's break it open and see what we got. It cooked in the same amount of time. Nothing shiny in there. It's not gooey anywhere. Bottom's nice colored. Okay, well, there we have it. Oatmeal raisin cookies. Made it with the box. I'll put all the recipes for the conversion. I'll do the full recipe, that'll make 48, and I'll put the half recipe in there as well. Can't say they're good for you, but oatmeal's good for you, right?